Clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap, squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical. Woo. To speak the truth to the masses. Yeah. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard. Every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Yeah. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Yeah. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad, throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad, yeah I see you, yeah I see you. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.
Well, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, my clickbaity fam. Trap Squad was good. As you can tell, I am not either Mondell or Marcus. I am your producer for Clickbaity, Tunde. As you guys can tell by now, we've clearly had some tech issues this morning, some things going on behind the scenes. But I was tempted to either cancel the show or do something for y'all, and I respect the Trap Squad way too much to just go ahead and cancel on y'all. So I wanted to bring y'all a little something this morning. It's gonna be brief, but I just want to talk to y'all real quick since we can't have a regular show this morning. So. We're going to do something a little different. There were some things clearly on our docket that we wanted to talk about this morning, but and I might get to a couple of those things. But the main thing I want to do this morning, I want to run a little exercise because since we got an odd morning here where we're not doing a regular show, I wanted to do something real quick. I want to do some polls real quick. I want to see what y'all are thinking out there. What content you guys are looking at? What are the things that are on y'all minds? So I'm gonna be real active in this chat here to see what's going on with the Trash Squad. I want y'all to talk to me about, politically speaking, what's at the forefront of everybody's mind right now. And I want to see if we can get like kind of a consensus from the Trap Squad to see the Squirrel Gang, to see if there's a particular thing that we're looking at as a unit right now, because unity is powerful, and so when we're all united on a specific issue, we can provoke change, and so I think that's really important. So while we have the time this morning, I wanna talk to y'all. So y'all put in the chat, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. Y'all put in the chat what's on your minds this morning, politically speaking. Is it this infrastructure bill that Biden is trying to pass? Is it reparations? You guys talk to me. Let me take a sec here to. Let's see. Ursula says it's about black empowerment and justice. Okay. All right. For the People Act, uncut now, says Susan. All right. Let's see what else you guys saying in here. The climate catastrophe. Okay. You know what's so interesting about everything that's going on with the climate right now is it's this problem that we're basically already past the point of no return here, right? That it's already a catastrophic problem, as you put it. I believe forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong. I believe it's Gooley, I believe. So you put climate catastrophe and police brutality, and the climate situation right now is already at critical mass. This issue, and we're not even pretending like it's a problem right now. Like it's, there are people clearly like activists and things like that that are clearly sounding the alarm bells, but our politicians are just like, what are you going to do? And that's insane. If you have even something that looks like a potential problem, why wouldn't you address it? Why wouldn't you at least think about doing something about it? But we're not even that's not even the conversation right now, which is insane to me. But same goes for police brutality, right? Like it should be at the forefront of a lot of conversation. It seems like unless there's something happening, unless the media pushes it out as, oh, this event happened, whether it's George Floyd or any event like that, it's like they don't care at all, But all right, so let's see what else we got here. Rep 1, of course. This is Clickbaity, of course. Right. Okay. All right. So it looks like Rep 1 is taking the lead right now. Let's see. Sorry guys, my dog just bursted into the room. Okay. So as a unit, it looks like we want to talk more about Rep 1. So what I want to do, I'm just going to try to find different and interesting ways to bring that conversation, to tackle it from angles that we haven't tackled it from before, and look for different arenas into it, because what I think tends to happen is that a lot of times, and not just, this show, but just the conversation overall, a lot of the conversation tends to just be a repeat of the same talking points kind of over and over, instead of finding like different ways into discussing it. So yeah, I think that's going to be one of my missions, is to find a way to talk about Rep 1 from a new and kind of fresher angle than maybe it's been covered. Let's see. Let's see what else we got in here. Let's see. The For the People Act and then the PRO Act. What the fuck is wrong with the Dem Party and Biden, especially? Yeah, that's always the question, right? What the hell's wrong with the Democratic Party? But I mean, at this point, I think it's all hustle, right? It's not their failures aren't. I don't think their failures are. It's like a planned failure, I don't I think we talked to maybe one of the last shows we did. We talked about how like the Dem Party isn't. I mean, this isn't what it looks like when you're in opposition. This is what it looks like when you're in cahoots. When you basically don't mind the situation as is. But yeah. Yeah, Anna Hart says breaking up with the Dems. I think that's an interesting conversation, only from the perspective of, okay, well, if not the Dems, then what, right? Because if you try to go third party, if you go state by state, there's a lot preventing third parties from truly being successful. And so, if not the Democratic Party, then there's already sort of guardrails in place to prevent third parties from being successful. So how do you both simultaneously get rid of those guardrails and defeat those who from both parties who would fight to keep those things in place? And so that's a tough thing to approach. So but I do think that's an interesting conversation, is that honestly kind of bleeds into all other conversations, is what happens when the Democratic Party, or what happens after the Democratic Party, if we're thinking, okay, well, the Democratic Party isn't it, then what, you know? So I think that's an interesting conversation. So I'll note that. Let's see what else. What else? Money in politics. Okay, Anna Hart has got another one. Money in politics. Picking up with the Dems. What else we got? Just a heads up for everybody who's kind of trickling in here. So of course this is Tune Day. We through some technical difficulties aren't able to get a regular show in today, but I just wanted to just pop in here, talk to y'all real quick, and just kind of test the temperature in the room to see what we want to talk about. So, great question, Ursula. So Ursula asks how Marcus is doing. From what I understand, Marcus is, he's out of surgery and he's on the mends. We exchanged, just a couple of messages, this morning. So it seems like he's doing all right. I haven't actually talked to him directly. But it seems like he's doing well, and on the mends and should be back, hopefully sooner than later. But yeah. Let's see what else we got in here. But yeah, I like all of that. I like the idea of talking, diving a little bit more into climate, the climate situation, Rep One, obviously, and how we can sort of break up with the Democratic Party. It's funny, man. It really is like a relationship, right? Like where where it's run its course. This relationship it's toxic for both parties. But maybe you all live together, maybe maybe there's a lot of shared things in the relationship, and so just even the thought of breaking up seems like an extremely daunting task. And there's a million and one reasons not to do it, but for all the reasons not to do it, there's every reason to. So yeah, I think we will try to focus in on that conversation and again attack that from a new and fresh point of view, that dives more into solutions than just stating that there's a problem. Okay, so with that, let me do this. Let me talk about maybe one or two stories, super quick, and then I'll go ahead and bow out here. Because I know I'm not the talent here. Both Marcus and Mondale, nobody can do what they do, and we need their voices. And so I obviously am not their voice. I'm just another cog in the wheel that is the show. But I wanted to give you guys at least something. So let me pull up my little cheat sheet here. So one of the things that we were going to talk about was, and this kind of bleeds in some of the conversations that, some of the things that we were just talking about with some of the things that, you guys were mentioning that you wanted us to touch on, or what's on your minds right now. But so Biden had a town hall. This was, I think, last Wednesday, I believe. He was in Cincinnati, right? And the reason why he was in Cincinnati, I think he talked about a lot of different things, but one of the things that he talked about was this whole infrastructure bill, right? And how nothing's happened on it, right? This bill that apparently they want to be bipartisan. But that fell through because the Republicans are psychopaths. And so, of course, they oppose anything that can help actual people. And so Biden essentially said, oh, well, we're of course going to get things rolling on Monday. Well, Monday's come and gone, and obviously nothing has happened. There was no vote, at least to my knowledge, that took place, that they're still, quote unquote, having conversation. And so actually, rather than me, flap my gums about it. I'm gonna let Biden go ahead and talk to you here. So let me cue this up for you here. Let's see. Boom.
So actually, the bipartisan infrastructure deal failed the procedural vote today, right?
But yeah, it did.
In the
But
Senate
that's
today.
irrelevant.
Go on. Okay. In the Senate, negotiators say that they need more time.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, but they're expected to vote again on Monday. But how much time do you think that they need to get this done?
Till Monday. Look, no, I'm not being facetious. I'm not being facetious. You had up to 20 Republicans sign a letter saying, we think we need this deal. We think we need this deal. So I think there'll be, by the way, the reason we're talking this way, we need 60 votes to get something moving. And what's going to happen is, I believe, because I take my Republican colleagues at their word when you shake. I come from a tradition in the Senate. You shake your hand, that's it. You keep your word. And I found Rob Portman does that. I found that, your governor is a good man. You shake his hand, it's done. No, I really mean, I'm not being falsely complimentary.
You think it's going to move forward in the Senate on Monday?
I do. Here's what I think. What happens is the vote on Monday is a motion to be able to proceed to this issue. Then they're going to debate the issue of the elements, the individual elements of this plan to make sure we're going to fix that damn bridge of yours going into Kentucky. No, I'm serious.
We're going to talk about that bridge in just a moment. We have some
Anyway,
about that bridge.
But I think it's going to get done. You may find in the amendments that take place on the detail of whether or not, and I'm the guy that wrote this bill to begin with, and so I've had to compromise to make changes in the bill. When I say I campaigned on this. I mean, everybody thought I was a little nuts when I talked about there were 3 reasons why I was running. 1, to restore the soul of this country, bring back some decency. 2, to build back the middle class because they've been getting really knocked around a long time. They're the backbone and unite the country. And one of the big issues was dealing with infrastructure. Remember, last 4 years we had infrastructure week every week. We didn't do a thing. But it's necessary. No, I really mean it. It's going to not only increase job opportunities, it's going to increase commerce. It's a good thing, and I think we're going to get done.
Right. So, yeah, I was trying to keep an eye on some of the comments as that clip was playing out, and I think a lot of you have it correct. Angry Panda, I think you said it best. Living in the past. And honestly, even that's a little hard to argue, right? That I think there was a day and time when it seemed like you could actually get things done and get policies, bills passed. But these days, hearing Biden talk about, oh, well, you just go up to somebody, you shake their hand, and you take them at their word. It sounds crazy. It sounds like you're daydreaming. If you think that you're going to get anything done with Republicans by simply just taking them at their word. I don't care which Republican you're talking to. It doesn't really matter, because the Republican Party, for all the bluster that they do, right? All the big bad wolfing that they do, right? Honestly, they're really just cowards at the end of the day, right? And I say that because not out of anger or anything like that, even though I have my anger towards the Republican Party, because for any progress that we have here in America, they try more than anything else to deter any sort of progression in America, right? But they're cowards because they just love strong men, right? So once Trump came around, it was, we'll do anything Trump says, right? Because we're afraid of his bully pulpit, right? We're afraid of his base, right? That we dare not evoke the anger of Trump's base. So they would literally, even if they disagreed with either his methods or the actual policy themselves, they would just concede, right? And that's all we know this modern day Republican Party to be. So whether it's Trump or whether it's Mitch McConnell, the Republicans all fall in line, because at the end of the day, they don't have any agenda other than staying in office, continuing taking whatever sort of money that they're getting from whatever industries that are giving them money, right? That's all they know. So for Biden to stand on the stage and say, "Oh, I remember the day when you can just go ahead and shake somebody's hand and take them at their word," yeah, that day's not today, my friend. I don't know what else to tell you. And look, say what you will about Biden. There are some times where he says things or he's talking and you want to believe that he just means well, right? And we could go back to some of his disastrous policies and things like that to prove otherwise. But you want to believe that he means well, but whether he means well or not, this is not what we need right now. We need a fighter in office. Even if the presidency is just a figurehead at the end of the day, we need somebody who's gonna go there and evoke change and use methods that actually evoke change. And he's not even sniffing in the realm of that as of right now. So yeah, I don't know what world Biden's living in, but it's not the world we're all living in, because we're all watching Republicans just mob through and do whatever the hell they want. And then when Democrats get into office, it's, we're just going to obstruct everything. And anybody who can't fight back against that is honestly a part of the problem, not clearly not the solution, which, these are all things you all know. But that was one of the stories that we wanted to talk about this morning. So yeah, I see there are about 50 or so people in here right now. I appreciate you all for watching. And again, we were having some technical issues this morning, so we couldn't get to an actual show. But I'm just here to just give you something, at least, so that because I see it whenever I'm we put the show out, as far as starting it on like YouTube and things like that. I always see everybody kind of trickling in and yeah, I just seeing the conversation already start before the show even starts. It would break my heart to not give you guys something, since you guys are here with us, rock with us. So yeah. Now these last two stories are a little. They're interesting because and we might touch on these same topics again on Thursday in some form or fashion, but again, I just wanted to kind of at least touch on it today. I've got this other clip from Michael Flynn. I don't know if anybody else is thinking about Michael Flynn these days. I highly doubt anybody's actually giving any sort of care to Michael Flynn. Disgraced, what was he was some sort of a military leader or something, I don't know, whatever the hell he was, but he clearly he got jammed up, and I believe he was pardoned, and you guys can correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong about that, but he was pardoned by Trump at some point in time. So I guess he was at an event in which they were honoring him, and so he was at an event in DC, I believe, and he's on a stage. And you know what? Rather than talk about it, I'll just let it play out.
That's awesome.
And tell us about your gift.
So we were trying to come up with a rifle that we thought was appropriate for a general. So we went with a old school woodland camouflage. So anyhow, this is one of our top quality guns. And
maybe I'll find somebody in Washington, D.C.
This one's Florida compliant. Thank you, sir.
Yikes. So look, when we just talked about Biden a little bit, and how Biden has this sort of romantic idea about, oh, well, just go and shake their hands and take them at their word. Well, the word is they're coming to shoot you, Biden. is essentially what their word is. The receipt that they're sending to you is not the same as you shaking their hands and believing that they're going to do something good or something that you want them to do. Michael Flynn, who former national security advisor, and pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI. And of course, yeah, he did indeed receive a pardon from Trump, I believe. He, in case everybody didn't catch it there, what he said was, I'm going to go find somebody in Washington, and he was implying that he's going to use this AR-15 on them. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously Michael Flynn's not, he's not a politician, in terms of, he's elected to office or anything like that. But that's the Republican Party, where they say things like this. People in office will say things like this. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene. You've got the other lady, I forget what her name is, but she's walking around, with a gun in the holster, daring people to say anything to her about it. This is what the Republican Party is. And it's very obvious to see. They don't hide it. This is who they are. And so how Biden thinks he can work with them in any great sense is, at this point, he's delusional, and, again, it's been brought up 1,001 times. Lauren Barber, thank you guys for putting her name in there. The congresswoman who she runs around with her gun in the holster. And I have to think that, when guys do it, right, it's kind of like, all right, well, what are you compensating for that you need to walk around with a gun in the holster, in Washington? If you're a politician in Washington, D.C., I mean, you've got security detail, you've got your people, can't just access you, unless they just storm the Capitol, of course. But so why you would need to walk around with a gun in the holster is hilarious. But yeah, I don't know, man. This whole conversation in terms of Republicans working with Republicans, it's dead in the water, and so it's been talked about 1,001 times. Like I was going to say, with this whole filibuster idea, but there are times where you really do have to admit that. That we're not playing two parties. There's no two parties. There's like one party, and and we're not in it. There's one party, and we have not been on the invite list for quite some time. And so Republicans are just going wild out, do whatever the hell they want. Democrats are going to pretend as if they're fighting back, and half the time not even pretend. And we're just stuck here, sitting on our hands, So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done, a lot of things to be talked about. But like I said, I am not the voice of this show. The voice of this show is Marcus and Mondell. Marcus is on the men's right now, so we expect him back. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But again, he's on the men's from his operation. So ideally, we should be back this Thursday with a great show for you all, and we'll definitely push for that to certainly happen. And so yeah, I think I'll leave it right there. Again, I wanted to give you guys a full show today. We couldn't, but I wanted to at least give you something. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me for a little bit here, and. And yeah, all things being even, we should see you guys Thursday. We're the time is 6:45, but we're trying, it's more likely going to be 7, that we're going to usually aim for in the morning. We'll try to get things kind of going around 6:45, and the show should for sure start at 7. We're definitely going to try to be a lot more consistent, from that standpoint. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you for joining me. And we'll talk to you guys on Thursday. With that being said, peace out.
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let our voice be heard. Every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad, throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad, yeah I see you, yeah I see you. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, thirst trap, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad, throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, yeah I see you, yeah I see you. Trap squad.